elements of minimizing energy consumption, which is what this is all about, right?
Yep.
It are, you know, having a system that's efficient. So the geothermal, which is expensive, but you get tax credits, so that helps a bunch. And then insulation, so you're not needing it any more than is, you know, absolutely necessary, so to speak. And then source of your electricity. Oh, imagine that, you know, solar panels. And interestingly, we've done a fair amount of research and been trying to find other commercial buildings in Virginia that are set up like this, that are net zero. Can't find any. And we think the reason is that the square footage of solar panels that you need to do the job will only serve probably 2 stories of a footprint. So if you're doing a much larger commercial building as an office building in a high-end district where the land's real expensive, now all of a sudden you got to figure out a way to put your solar panels out in the parking lot and lose parking spaces, or build some structure that they sit on top of.
That makes sense.
Or there's some where they have sort of shutters that are slanted on the sides of the buildings. There's one in Silver Spring like that. So we think that that's the reason.
The scale, sort of, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you need so many square feet of solar panels for so many square feet of building. And
So
if
this
you've got-
building has solar panels?
Oh yeah. I'll take you up and show them to you. And this could probably do. I mean, this building has about 2/3 of the roof of about a 3,000 square foot footprint is solar panels, and you'll see that when I take you up there. But those 3 pieces go together, and then there's something that you ought to just look up online, which is I can just do this. Hit enlighten, please, come on. See, make sure this thing actually works. And it will tell me how much juice I'm making today. And it'll do a couple other things too. Like for example, it'll tell me if I go to energy, and I go to month.
It's sunny outside today.
Yep, and
Should be juicy.
but it's relatively early in the day, so you see that's why
It's
on the
still a little
7th you see it's low. And if you get a cloudy day and when you really want to see something, January when the snow, I didn't think of that I should come up here with a broom and sweep off the snow. The snow was blocking the sunlight, so when you make a lot of electricity in January, you don't make that much anyway because the days are so short, right?
The days are shorter too,
Yeah,
right? Yep.
So, but this shows you, for example, that, let me see, I can try and move this. Where are you? Oh, come on.
How often do you have to clean the solar panels?
Haven't cleaned them yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I would like to think that the rain will do that for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is not cooperating. This is my fault for not. Comparison of prior years. So you see that in February of last year, we made 702 kilowatts of electricity. And in February of this year, we made 647. So that's close, you know. And it lets you do comparisons. You'll see that in January, for example, 219, like only about a quarter or a third as much. And I think that is partly short days, but I think more responsible is the fact that I didn't sweep the snow off of the panels, and that just blocked the light. But we learn as you go on these things, right? All right.
Trailers, my dad's.
Oh, yeah.
It wouldn't even, this trailer stopped working,
Oh. Yeah. We had fun, you know.
He didn't like Charles, he wanted to come.
Particularly different. Oh, right. We made all these walnut tabletops that I got real sick of making. Retired now,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to convince him to.
Oh, actually, you know, no, he designed Grammy's house. He's the architect that did Grammy's house.
Oh,
Kevin Ruselli.
where's?
Jill Beach.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Aiden's grandma.
Yeah, Kevin's lived up there north of, not Loyalty Road, the other road we go to, Love'sville.
Like originally he was the
Architect. it was, you know, good for
I'm sorry, what did you say this is?
podcast studio. For
Earth, the aliens alone.
Net zero. And you can sort of pick your backdrop by rolling it in any way you want, depending on what you want, and including a green screen, so you can, you know.
338 is what? Your address?
Is the address of this building.
Yeah, yes, I figured.
And I've gotten less imaginative with naming buildings over the years as I've gone along, you know. But this thing is probably a little bit more complicated. If I had it to do again, I'd try and find some way of being super simplistic, but it's got professional level lighting, and it's got these 3 cameras, which have been a challenge for us to get working on the same screen just right. So that the idea is that somebody comes in, does their podcast with all 3 cameras running, and et cetera, and then takes their thumb drive home and use their editing program to make it whatever they want to make it into. And this one has been anything but a moneymaker so far. So
Maybe I'll have to come in with one of my friends sometime and make a.
systems right here, and there are 2 in here. Basically, I'll be honest, I can't tell you exactly how they're divided. I think it's kind of front and back, just the way you see you see the units, and you see those insulated pipes that are going away from them. Those go out through the wall here, as you see, and go out to 3 wells, or 4 wells, I'm sorry, each about 1,400 feet deep out in the parking lot. And once you drill the wells and you run the pipes down in them, a lot of people think that you want to put them in a here well, so they think wet well, you know, there's water down there. You don't want water down there. So they pour a mortar down. Well, first they hope they don't hit. They'd like to go right into bedrock and not hit any water, and then they can backfill it with various kinds of mortar to better.
Enclose the.
It dissipates and it collects temperature much better than air. Air gets in the way. Water isn't the most efficient either. It's kind of okay, but they like to stay away from it. In the old days, they would look for water and circulate the water through the pump. But now they prefer to use a material that won't freeze. I don't think it's straight water. I think there's something added to the water just to keep it sanitary and to keep it from ever freezing, even though everything is well below grade. As you can see, this is the grade that it goes
Where the
out
earth
at.
is at a temperature that is.
Yeah, we have the frost line in
Yeah.
Virginia is what, if it ever happens anymore,
Yeah.
it is not more than 2 feet.
Right.
So if you go down 3, and that's what they, make Charlie do when he puts the foundation in, he's got to be below the frost line because you don't want the heaving, right? So that's where all that. And in this case, what I had done on my farm, because I had the land to do it, is we put our pipes in horizontally. So I've got about 7,000 or 8,000 feet of pipe, and they would dig a trench that was 6 feet deep and about 3 feet wide, and they were able to run 2 pipes in either corner and then have them crisscross on the end and come back up a couple of feet. So they separated all that temperature dissipation and the rest and come back. Don't have that amount of land to work in typically in these situations, so and it costs a little bit more money to have them come in and drill them. But that's what we had to do in this particular situation to set up this whole geothermal. And
They're up and down, or?
yeah, vertical.
Vertical,
Yeah. And then this is where I was talking about the foam. You can see how it goes up. If you were in a typical building, you wouldn't necessarily see any insulation in that particular spot right there. If you're not insulating this, which there's no need to insulate this because it's interior, and this is heated space and that's heated space, and it's okay for it to go back and forth. But this has a vapor barrier to it. Is a closed cell foam, whereas the foam that's used above grade is, I think they call it an open cell foam, but it breathes. That's the name of the game, to avoid vapor barriers. This, you kind of want a vapor barrier, and if it's going to weep, you want it to weep on the outside, away from bringing anything in. Up above, you want it to just breathe comfortably and not produce any.
They are,
So,
yeah.
so I can put individual ones up here, and frankly, I don't feel the need to put shade over every square inch of
Yeah,
every
sometimes
table.
you want to be in
I
the
kind of
sun.
like being,
Yeah.
You have a choice.
Get your vitamin D for the day.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's the
I
idea.
come here and play chess, like if I wanted to on a regular day, hang out with like a friend here.
You, yes, because I know you and trust you. Party hardy in the middle of the night with a bunch of people I don't know and homeless folks making a home up here, that might be a little different. One of the things that's really cool about this is there is no external access to this roof. So, you got to be able to get in the building first. And
Right.
That sort of gets things under control. And the fire marshal says no more than
These aren't blowing anywhere.
that's why they're there. I just built those very simple tables to carry that kind
You
of
built
weight.
them?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
People come up
Flags
to me
in.
lunch and stuff.
Yeah, sometimes. I think a lot of people kind of get a little focused on the business day. What's kind of fun is, sitting on those corner things with a beer and watching the traffic go by and seeing what's going on. And
Sitting on
yelling to
top of
people.
your building. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just sort of fun to look at. And,
I
but it
want to
was
ask you one more
useful
video question.
that way. Panels.
Yeah, that's it. I was wondering how many there were. Yeah.
You're going to ask me the hard questions. I haven't counted them in a long time.
That's all right.
That well that you see where the ladder is that goes up over the wall, that whole area in there is complete with panels. And then the remaining area, which is they're about the same size. A nice strong young man. Let me see. Walk right out here. And then if you go down to the ladder, you go up a couple steps and you'll be able to get your camera to show you what that looks like.
Excellent.
It's all solid back here.
Yeah.
They
so-
stay at that angle where they are.
Yeah, well, the angle is to maximize the direct shot from the sun, get the maximum benefit out of it. They apparently make it so you can sit on a roof. We'll sit on a roof and we'll turn or just can take sun from any angle and maximize it, which is unclear to me how that works.